Hello and welcome to all students. This is first year BCom class, semester 2nd, Mathematical and Statistical Techniques. Second, unit number 3, Interest, Simple and Compound. So today we are going to start a new unit of this paper, Interest, Simple and Compound Interest. So suppose we invest money in the bank for a specific period. At the end of the period, the bank not only returns our money invested, but in addition will give some extra money for using our money which was kept with them. Similar situation will arise in reverse order if instead of investing the money we borrow the money from the bank. In this case it is we who would be paying extra money to the bank for making use of their money. If instead of a bank such a investing or lending borrowing process is carried out between two parties, the same rule are applicable. So let us see some useful terms in this unit. So first useful term is principal. So let us write some useful terms. First is a principal. In Marathi it is called as muddal. Okay, the money invested or borrowed or lended is called as a principal. Okay, so let us write the definition. The money invested the money invested or borrowed or landed is called the principal. Is called the principal. And that principal is denoted by the capital P. Okay, and the next term that we are using is a interest. And it is denoted by the notation capital I. In Marathi it is called as VAS. Okay, so the interest means the little extra money paid in addition to the principal. Okay, so let us write here the little extra money paid in addition to the principal paid in addition to the principal is called the interest. Is called is called the interest. Interest I, okay. And the next term that we are going to use is the amount, and it is denoted by the notation A. The amount means total amount. Total amount, okay. And that amount is nothing but it is the addition of principal and interest. So A is always equal to P plus I. Principal plus interest total gives the amount. Let us discuss the interest in detail. So let us discuss about the interest in detail. So let us write interest. The interest to be paid by the concerned party is calculated as a percentage of the principal for the specified time period at the pre-decided yearly rate agreed by both the parties, and the rate is called as a rate of interest per year. And as mentioned earlier, it is to be expressed in terms of percentage to be applied for the principal. For example, if I invest rupees, here investment, suppose I invest rupees 5,000 in a bank at the rate of interest 8%. Then at the end of 1 year, so this investment is for 1 year. Okay, for the 1 year the bank gives me an interest which is 8% of 500. Okay, so interest I given by the bank is 8% of 5,000 rupees. 5,000 rupees, and the 8% of 5,000 is nothing but 8 divided by 100 into 5,000, and that interest, if we calculate, and it comes out to be 400 rupees. So at the end of 1 year, bank will give me 400 rupees on the investment of 5,000 rupees. So if the rate of interest is 8%. Okay, now there are two types of interest. First is, so let us write the types of interest. So next is simple interest and compound interest. So there are two types of interest: simple interest, and compound interest. So first of all, we discuss what is meant by simple interest. So simple interest is always calculated on the principal. So we discuss the first, and that interest is a simple interest okay. So simple interest is always calculated on principal. Consider the previous example in which rupees 5000 was invested at the end at the rate of 8% per annum. Okay, so consider the example. If my principal is of rupees 5000 rupees and the rate of interest, let us call it is R. Suppose that rate of interest is 8% per annum, then the interest at the end of 1 year, as we calculated above, the interest at the end of 1 year, let us we write here interest at end of 1 year, that we calculated above, that interest is equal to 8% of 5000 rupees. Okay, and that amount is 400 as we calculated above. Okay, similarly the interest at the end of second year, okay, the interest at the end of second year, so it is again 8% of 5000 rupees, and it is again 400 rupees. Okay. Okay, similarly interest at the third year, fourth year, so that interest is 400 at the end of each year. However, if the interest is not collected every year, if we collect the interest every year, then at the end of each year we will get the interest, the amount of interest 400 rupees. Okay, so if we are not collecting our interest at the end of every year, okay, and but is allowed to be accumulated, then the principal invested along with the interest increases. Obviously the increased principal will fetch more interest. Let us look at the above example. Okay, so in the second case, now that second case will give us a compound interest. Okay, so let us write here the compound interest. Compound interest. So in this case what happens, we are not collecting the interest at the end of each year, and that interest will be added into the principal. Okay, so let us look at the above example, that the investment is of rupees investment means principal is of rupees 5000 rupees, and rate of interest R is 8% per annum. Okay, so in this case we are not collecting the interest at the end of each year, so that interest will be added into the principal. The interest at the end of first year, the interest at end of first year is equal to 8% of 5000 rupees. okay, and it is equal to 400. Okay, now the interest at the end of second year, the interest at the end of second year, it is equal to, so that interest will be 8% of 5400 rupees. Okay, so see here, the principal increased at the end of second year. Okay, and we have to, at the end of first year the principal becomes 5400 rupees, and at the end of second year the bank will give the interest on 5400 rupees with rate of interest 8%. The amount will be 432 rupees. Okay, 432 rupees. Now at the end of third year, the interest at end of third year, it is equal to 8% of 5832 rupees. Okay, so what is the 8% of this amount? And that amount will be 466.56 rupees. Okay, so this interest is called as compound interest. Okay, so here we have discussed two types of interest: simple interest and compound interest. So in the above example, we are calculating interest on interest, or to put it in other word, we are compounding the interest. Thus, when the interest is calculated in such a cumulated manner, it is called as a compound interest. Okay, most of the money transactions are done using the compound interest. We begin our study with the calculation of simple interest and then gradually learn compound interest. So let us start. With the compound interest. Simple interest. So let us first we write the formula for simple interest. Okay. So right here formula for simple interest. Okay, that word is important. We are looking towards a formula for simple interest. Okay, so let us write on the next line, if capital P denote principal invested. Okay, let small r denote the rate of interest per year. Okay, so this is rate of interest per year. And suppose n denotes the number of years the principal invested, the number of years number of years. Number of years. So amount, number of years, principal invested. Okay, so then the simple interest I on the principal P at the rate of R% for the period n years is given by. So let us rewrite. Okay, then the simple interest, let us we call it is SI, means simple interest. Simple interest I on principal P on principal capital P at the rate of interest R% for the period n years. N is in years. For the period n years is given by the formula. So let us write the formula in different color. Okay, that formula I will write by using this color. Okay, so simple interest I is equal to so right here principal into rate of interest into number of years divided by 100. Okay, so this is formula. Okay, so this is formula for simple interest. Okay, the simple interest is given by I is equal to P into R into N whole divided by 100. Here P is principal, R is rate of interest per year on the principal, and N is the number of years. So I is simple interest. So this is formula, you keep in mind. Okay, so let us try to solve some examples based on this formula of simple interest. Okay, so let us try to solve some examples. Let us write first question. Let us try to solve question number 1. Okay, question number 1 is rupees 2000 is invested rupees 2000 is invested at 6% simple interest per year full stop. Find the amount after find the amount after 1 year 1 year, 5 year, 6 months. Okay, 6 months. So let us write the answer of this question. Answer. So what is given to you? We have given a principal amount of rupees 2000 and the rate of interest R is 6% per year. Okay, so let us go to the first case. First case, here n is equal to 1, so therefore simple interest we have to calculate. Simple interest I, and formula is, we know that P into R into N divided by 100, and it is equal to P is 2000 into R is 6 rate of interest and N is 1 divided by 100. Okay, just calculate this amount. It is equal to, here this 0, this 2 0 will get cancelled with this 2 0. Now what is left with is 20 into 6 into 1 divided by 1, means it is, final answer is 120. Okay, so this is simple interest of rupees 120 which we get after 1 year, which we get after 1 year. So this is simple interest, but I want to find the amount which we get after 1 year. Okay, so therefore we write amount that we get after 1 year is equal to principal plus interest. Okay, and our principal is 2000 plus interest is 120. Okay, and it is equal to 2000 and 120 rupees. Okay, so this is the amount which we get after 1 year. Okay, so let us go to the second case. Second case is 5 years, so means n is equal to 5, and after 5 years the simple interest which we get is given by the formula P into R into N whole divided by 100. Okay, and it is equal to P is 2000 into R is 6, but N will get change. Now it is N is equal to 5 and it is divided by 100. So again do this calculation. These 2 zeros will get cancelled with these 2 zeros. What is left is 20 into 6 into 5. So finally it is 20 into 30 and it is equal to 600 rupees. So this is the interest which we get after 5 years on the principal 2000 rupees with rate of interest 6% per annum. Okay, and the total amount which we get after 5 years is nothing but, so amount which we get after 5 years is A is equal to principal plus interest, and it is 2000 plus interest is 600, so 2600 rupees. Okay, is the amount. which we get after 5 years. Now our third case is, now the third case is so here n is equal to half year. Okay, so n is equal to 1/2, or we can say 0.5, means it is 6 months. So this is in year, so n is equal to 1/2. So interest is equal to p r into n whole divided by 100, and it is equal to 2000 into 6 into 1/2 whole divided by again 100. Do the calculation, the zeros will get cancelled. What is left is 20 into, this is 3, okay, 2 into 3 is 6, so 3, and it is equal to, this is 60. So interest after 6 months is 60 rupees, and the amount, if we draw from the bank, then the total amount will be, total amount after 6 months will be principal plus interest, means it is 2000 rupees plus interest is 60 rupees, and 2060 rupees is the amount received after 6 months. Okay, so today we discussed some useful terms in this unit. And interest, there are two types of interest. First is simple interest and compound interest, and we discussed a formula to calculate a simple interest and solved one example on simple interest. So let us stop here. This is the end of this lecture, and thank you very much.